Today we have a hot episode. And with that joke, we will start our episode today where we have a lot to do. Today I have a few things that I want to do, but I have to explain what's this milestone that I'm talking about. So the milestone is actually getting 75,000 people in the city so we can get a space elevator. So I think I mentioned on the last episode that I was putting down some buildings and for the space elevator, and we will get that when we reach 75,000. We're very close, so there are a few things that we can do here to speed up the process. And at the end of the episode, we'll be just like a couple hundred people away from that, which I deliberately stopped there because I want to start the next episode doing that. So in here, I'm actually touching up the zoo so we can have a zoo looking like a zoo. So having walls around it and having all protected, so we don't have like you never go to a zoo that you don't have any walls, right? It's just like walk on the road. So I'm protecting here. We have this ramp to the highway crossing there, and I'm making sure that everything is enclosed and everything is safe. And I think it is looking pretty good. I'll also add a new building there, but I'll do that at the end of the episode. But I think I quite like the way it's looking. It's a very small zoo. It's in an area of the city that's very dense and very populated, so I didn't want to go with a huge zoo in there. That wouldn't make sense in this area. So I just want to make something that was more, everything was close and working together in there. So that was the deal there, and that was the goal, and I think we've achieved that. And there's just one more building to put down there, and I will do that very soon. And I then went ahead and started working on this area of the map, which we had for the trams. So if you remember, a few episodes ago we did this, it's kind of a turnabout. So the trams would turn left to the bottom of the screen, there is a tram at the top left in there, then they'll turn right and go right, crossing, going past the zoo on the top of the screen. So, and then it was like an empty area and very weird. And then I decided that I want to also make sure that this area was populated and with a few buildings in there. So I did something different in there, and I put all the services in the middle of that little suburb, and I quite like that because we have everything in the center. So this means that these services are for people that lives here. So not that anyone from outside could go there, but they can. But I think it's mainly for this area, and that's why we have that in the center there. I also did this small park in the middle, which I kind of think it was pretty cute and integrated very well with the area. And I put down all the residential and fill up the big space in between and all those gaps that we have between the buildings. So when they build up, we already have that. I made sure that we had some tram stops there as well, and a bus stop just close by to this area. It's a very small suburb, but I think this is very central as well, and this is looking pretty good, as you can see in this shot. I like how we have this suburb, then the zoo, and then the farming suburb on the right side, on the top side of the screen there. And I think everything is really integrated. Then here's a little bit of a surprise that I have. I went ahead and created this suburb, and I named it. And what I named it? I named it with the name of one of our subscribers. So this all starts as a joke. He mentioned on episode 43, which was just yesterday from when I'm recording this episode. And he said that I should play around a little bit with the names of the suburbs and make it more fun. And what I said was, well, if you don't give me a name, then I used your name. To be honest, I didn't give him much time. It's been 24 hours, but I'm using his name anyway. And if you want to see your name in any of our suburbs, just leave me a message in the comments and I'll make sure that we have something in there for you as well. I think it's just a way to make it fun and make sure that we enjoy this time together. As I always say, I don't build this just for myself. I build that mainly thinking about all of you guys and what you like, what you want to see, all your comments and feedback. And I think it makes sense that you participate and you have your name on the city as well. So it's not just Rodolfo anymore, you can have your name in the city. And here we are next to the forestry area, and I'm adding more buildings in there. So I think I finished or almost finished this area now. I'm happy with the way it's currently looking, and I feel almost all gaps there, and that I actually felt need to be built up and have something other than just grass, basically. So, and I went on this side as well of this area where we connect to the commercial district, and I did this road next to the train, to the railway. It's hard today. And I also add a pathway in there and add some fence as well, so all integrates and looks part of the same thing. And again, this was one of the areas that it was a little bit odd because it was all empty, and I know that pathway is on an angle, but I think that was on purpose because I thought I want to make something a little bit more interesting there, and I kind of like that. So yeah, and this was one of the remaining areas on this side of the map that I felt need something else, something extra there. And I think it makes sense, like having all these paths around that area. I know a few places where you have that alongside the train line as well, and I kind of like the way it is. So I think it made sense for me knowing this place and making sure that they still look good and it's not like just an ugly space over there. But I just want to make something different that we haven't done before, and especially with all the fencing around that as well. And I quite like the way it turned out. So I think this also take advantage of this the service in the area. So we have that high school over there, and mostly all the other services. And we have another building getting on fire. So I decided to put some more fire stations over the other side there, because they're probably just going too far away to get where they need to go, and they don't have time to come back and put down those fires. And here I've added some grass in there, a little bit of weeds as well at that ends, because I thought not everywhere we need to have like a huge amount of trees. We can have a play with that and make sure that the area look a little bit different. We still have some trees just next to it, but I think having empty space, it also makes sense, and that's what I've done. So we have that fence there. It's a different color from everything else that I use. I can't make a nice looking turning there, so I just went with the square shapes on the corners, and to be honest, I like that. Again, this just looks different from everything that we've done in the past, but I'm quite pleased with the result there as well. And I just went ahead and made sure that the services were working, especially the bus and tram lines that we've changed, that they had the correct capacity, and we have that line with 1,200 people using it. It's huge. And finally, I put in the giraffe in the zoo, and which I quite like, to be honest. One of my favorite buildings. So yeah, and here we are. I think we'll jump on the live game now, so I can show you around, and I'll be back. And here we are with our new suburb, created specially for our subscribers and viewers. So we have our new suburb here, the global special, and I quite like this area. So nothing too major. I think I just quite like the way it all looks, especially this medical center in here. So I quite like the way it all glass around it, and it looks pretty nice. And all the trees that we put around as well, I think they just add a little bit of flavor to that. And here is our zoo. So we do have our new building here, just within all those trees in there, which I kind of kept all the trees because I really like it. And you know, we should probably just put this a little bit down because I don't think this is things too high or where we are here. Yeah, that makes a little bit more sense for us. And yeah, this looks pretty cool. I really like this area, all the new trees that we put around, and look how many cars stopped in here as well. It's all looking so good. Speaking of cars, I didn't show you guys, but I mentioned about this area here with the car park. As you can see, they are starting to use it a lot more now. All this area here as well in the front, at the back there, and here. So it's coming alive. So I really like that. And the traffic there is gone, which is good. And then we go all the way to the other side. And here we are. So this is the last area that I built on the last episode. They're complaining a lot about not having customers in there. So they don't have workers. They need more educated workers. And I believe everyone here doesn't go to school. So because we have that policy that they prefer work rather than schooling. So yeah, but anyway, this will be fixed, I think, as these people start to get being educated, because this is not out of school policy, not policy. And yeah, this will be balanced very soon. So this is the new area. So this area here and this one in here as well. As I mentioned, I left this area open. I think it makes sense as we do have the train line going above there, which is quite nice. We still have like a lot of houses coming up in here. That's why I believe we'll reach 75,000 very soon. So nothing to worry around there. And yeah, and this is the pathway that I've mentioned. So let me try to go a little bit closer there, if I can, like this, and remove it out there. So this is what they basically see in here. As you can see, you have the fence, you can see the trains going around there, and you have all the view, and you have a nice pathway that's being used a lot there. So quite nice area, being used by a lot of people. And I'll just pause the game because otherwise we'll reach the milestone before the next episode, but I want to wait for that. So yeah, there is a lot of pathways in here, as you can see as well, which I think is something that I always try to do. I have some ideas for the next series that we do regarding pathways and road and all that stuff, but that's not for now, right? We'll wait until we get there. And I don't know if I show you guys, but we reached 4 stars here at the forestry industry, and we just need more workers. Basically, we need people in here. Come on, people. And looks like we need some pipes in here as well. So let's get that down as we're here, and that's sorted. So yeah, everything has been really busy, and I really like the way it's working now. Let me give you a bird's eye view now from what the city looks from above. I think this is as good as an area to take a peek. So we have at the top left there our original area of the city where we initially developed, and so that's why we have that square shaped and the highway very close to all those high density buildings. And then going clockwise, we cross the river. We have our self-sufficient house in there, so that suburb with all the canals, and which is a pretty nice one as well. I really like that. And then going to the right, we have a few more residential or commercial districts for tourism and leisure. So we have both in there. And at the top, we have the university with all the stadiums and all the sports in there that we have a lot of games and all that sort of stuff. And then going down there, we have the new residential area, stretching with mixed commercial and some offices as well. And at the bottom right, we have our passenger airports with the London Eye, a huge car park there, which is not like very, very popular. I think we have very good public transportation there. So this takes the pressure from that area, which is really good. Then we have our cargo, transport, then our forestry, industry. We have our fishing area on the river as well. And moving to the left there, we